how I built over the years several AI companies and how they have been successful.
So Dave, let's start from day one. First thing, why go for an AI company versus a product or a service-based company? Why did you go AI?
Back in the days when I first started my first company, nobody ever heard the term artificial intelligence. There was very little in that.
And how long ago was this?
I'm talking 40 years ago.
Wow.
And
So
back in the
some
80s.
people sitting at home think AI is just a new thing over the last 5 years.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It isn't. Now, of course, it's phenomenally advanced, and we've taken advantage of that over the years. But in the very beginning, the idea that you would have data, you would present it to a machine, the machine would learn how to extrapolate from that data and make decisions. We knew how to do that back then. Neural nets existed back then. They weren't very clever, but they existed. We started with the idea of being able to read text. So we had a very limited point. The computer processing wasn't there. We had to make our own computers. We had to make our own scanners. None of those things existed really in the form they came to exist later. But the main thing was the algorithms. And the algorithms had at core the same basis that artificial intelligence programs have today. Namely, that you have a world that's got data, you feed that data into the system, and it learns to extrapolate from that data to answer questions. And we saw that. My mathematical expertise has always been pattern recognition. The ability to see patterns, extract patterns, and extrapolate from those patterns. When you teach a machine to do that, you've made the first steps towards artificial intelligence. It's a natural thing that humans do. Humans are really good at it. I happen to be quite good at it. I look at a spreadsheet and I say, that figure's wrong. I don't know why, but I know it is. Teaching machines to do that seemed to be fairly natural, and that's what I spent my entire career doing. So at first, we started off just teaching it how to read text, and then how to scan a page and read text on a page, and then how to scan formatted data that had more knowledge than just what the characters were. It had knowledge that there were this many addresses in the United States. So we did the system that reads the mail for the United States and 25 other countries. Those were the steps that we made. And in each one of those cases, we used more and more and more of what has become artificial technology today. Until the latest company, Aletheion, that I co-founded, was designed to use the real standard latest AI stuff. Not like ChatGPT, it was aimed in a different direction. It was aimed at, in this particular case, identifying an object from images of the object. And identified extremely precisely and accurately, and very, very fast. And so we took advantage of the technology that was coming along, and we used it really well, and we used it really successfully. And I think that that's a lesson for anyone who's in entrepreneurship today. Use the tools that are coming along, make sure you understand the tools that are coming along, and hire the people who know how to work with those tools, and you'll have a better chance of being successful.
So with Aletheion being what you're working on right now.
The most recent company, yeah.
What do you feel like makes you different than competitors, if you even have a competitor? And why did you even start that idea in the first place?
Well, I'd like to say we started the idea of Aletheion, which can tell any object, any set of objects can distinguish which one is what. Imagine you have 100 million $1 bills. You can tell which one is that with an iPhone. Imagine that you have 100,000 people and you want to look at just the backs of their hands. We can do that with just an iPhone. We got the idea, however, from something much more prosaic. The Postal Service needed a way of finding out whether they'd seen this envelope before. And so several millions hundreds of millions of pieces go through a system every day, and we had to tell them apart. So they didn't have to spray the barcode on the back. They would know they've seen it before. And that's what we did. And that was the origins of Aletheion. Now, we very rapidly discovered that the technology we developed was far more valuable than telling envelopes apart. We could tell individual pieces of paper apart. We could tell individual coins. I remember having a big collection of proof silver dollars with the double stamped mirror bright, not an imperfection on the thing, we could tell them apart all day.
Wow.
And we're looking, and because the fracture patterns in Liberty's dress on the silver dollar were different on each one, and we could see it with an iPhone.
And that the crazy part to me is that you can do this with an iPhone. Like if it was with like a professional camera where you really get to zoom in and you like put picture by picture and you upload it. But like this is like you pull your phone out of your pocket, you take a picture of it, and it tells you yes or no.
That's correct. It tells you which one it is, and it tells you that in a few milliseconds.
Now, is this something that people at home can have access to?
Yeah, absolutely. They already do have access to it, they just don't realize it. For example, if you buy a sports card on eBay, we've authenticated it to make sure that it's what it claims to be, using this technology. It's not for everyday use by people, it's by everyday use for companies.
And why is it that I can't use it with my, for example, I have bars of gold. If I want to take pictures of them, right, and then I want to go back and know which bar was which.
Well, I mean, we have certainly done that with for millions of bars of gold from the various gold manufacturers. We can track gold from the mines where it's got through the refiners to the national banks or the jewelers where it goes. And the reason we do that is very straightforward, because people like China and the Congo stick slave labor gold in there, and people don't want their wedding bands made out of slave labor gold. Yeah. And so we're helping prevent that.
Yeah. What about like an everyday use, which is super out there? But let's just say I have 7 different spices. They're all in black containers, right? And I want to label each one of them, but I don't want to label them. I want to just be able to pull out my phone and use it.
One could, of course, certainly do that with our technology. And one of the stunts that we do, just because, is to look at the back of playing cards and tell you what the front of the playing card is.
That is dangerous.
It is dangerous, and with an iPhone, and in milliseconds. We haven't tried that in Las Vegas, and I'm not planning to.
So no meta glasses.
no meta glasses. But the ability to tell which object something is more of a manufacturing place than it is an individual use place. For example, a large automobile manufacturer that uses us said, we were talking about being able to track parts from creation to deployment, and they said, we can't even track them on the manufacturing floor. We've got 55 different types of transmissions being put together on the same factory floor, and parts get in the wrong place because they're almost but not quite the same. So they use us to say, does this widget go in this type of transmission or that one or this one or that one or whatever? And doesn't even have to tell that it's the right bolt, just this is the right kind of bolt because we've seen it before. And that sort of use is far more common in what we're doing. But we're doing it for the military for atomic bomb parts. So it's everything from bolts at a manufacturing site to atomic bomb parts, which you kind of want to control.
Yeah, that's really fascinating and interesting. What are you going to say to someone sitting at home who has an AI idea, right? Like, I have a project that I would like to start, and it's AI. What should I go out and do it? Like, what steps do I take? Like, what would you do?
Well, being me, and because I had the advantage of having run companies and formed them before, I went out and hired people who knew how to do this sort of thing rather than trying to do it myself, because that's not my expertise. My expertise is the pattern recognition algorithms behind the AI. But the idea was there are plenty of experimental AI systems out there that are good enough to show if your idea has some promise. Then, once you have established that it does, go out and perfect it for your particular problem that you're trying to solve. That was how I would put it. And how you perfect it, very straightforward. You hire people who are experts in that kind of AI.
Yeah.
That's what we did. That's what we do.
So step 1 is have the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Step 2 is find people who can make that idea come to life.
Come to life.
And
It's
step
the same as it's always been. In this particular case, the expertise is the artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Now, we of course go into far more detail. I mean, if you guys haven't watched the video on how to hire people, how to manage people, how to make your idea come to life, how to get investors, if there's so much free information on this channel for anyone who
Yes.
wants to start a business that I don't think there's a point for us to even repeat it because it's a 20-minute video on how to just do that one thing.
Right. There's a lot of detail on this channel that teaches you how to do things, and all of it comes with scars on my body from having done it. And that's true from everything from building companies based on AI to firing people.
Yes. And this is off camera. Is it okay if I say, like, I know that you have your daughter just got
Oh yeah,
engaged?
that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
So Dave, I know you received some amazing news just as of right now.
My daughter's boyfriend proposed to her on their trip to the Turks and Caicos to asking her to marry him, and she said yes. She announces to the family by a picture that just shows her hand on his chest, and this is a very large ring.
Yeah, well, that is amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
we're very, very, very happy.
yeah. So we're gonna
He's a seal, so stay away from her.
we're gonna wrap the podcast up here, so you can go celebrate and enjoy that. And if you guys want to learn more about business, or if you guys have any ideas or anything that you want advice on, comment them down below. Dave answers each one of them, and we would be more than happy to make a video about it. And don't forget, the Discord channel is where we're on the Discord channel 24/7. There's so much free information on the Discord channel. We love talking to you guys. Go to the Discord channel, chat with us. See you guys in the next one.
Thank you.